Hello and welcome to the Kitchen Knitter podcast. My name is Suzanne and I live in Cheshire in the northwest of England with my husband. We have 3 grown-up children and 3 grandchildren. Today is June the 28th. It's been a while. And I don't know, I think just time has gone just so quickly. I don't have any reason. I mean, I've not been anywhere, not going anywhere. But since my last podcast, I've had quite a few new subscribers, which is lovely. Thank you very much. I think I was mentioned on a couple of podcasts. Angela from Knitting on the Farm, and Karen from Sticks and Jacks, and Helen from Yarn Street UK. They all gave my podcast a mention, which was very nice and very kind. And in the last couple of weeks, I've had a few more subscribers, so I don't know whether that's a YouTube recommendation or what, I don't know. But I now have more than 700 subscribers, which is just wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So I have a couple of finished objects. I have a few works in progress, and I have some. I've not been sewing much lately, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll show you what I've finished first. Now, way back, my first podcast, which I think was October time, I showed the Stillness Shawl, which I had started in the June. It was a mystery knit along where you get the pattern over a set amount of weeks, and I think there were five sections, so it's 5 weeks from June, and in October I still hadn't finished mine. In fact, I stopped knitting. I ran out of steam with it a bit. I was starting to get a bit, I don't know, I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not. I don't quite know how I'm going to wear this shawl, but anyway, I have finished it and I'm very pleased with it, and that's it. I don't know if you can see because the lights. If I fold it, may make it a bit denser. The sort of. Oh, I used wool from the wool barn. This is Belle Epoque. This is Misty Mauve, and I can't remember what that one is. Can't remember. I haven't got the ball bands either. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't frog it. I mean, to be honest, I think I got to about. I maybe even finished this bit. I don't know, but I had less to knit than I'd already knitted, if you know what I mean. So I just thought, I'll get on with it. So, and I'm pleased I did. It's a very nice pattern to knit, very easy. Although I managed to make a mistake and have to pull that out and start again, but it was lovely. But like I say, I've no idea how I'm going to wear it. I'll have to have a bit of a practice. But that's the Stillness Shawl. The other thing I finished is a pair of socks from, did I say that this was Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade? But everybody knows the Stillness Shawl now, don't they? I mean, and this is another pattern from Helen Stewart from the Sock Society, and these are the picnic blanket socks. It's a nice bit of detail. I suppose it is a pattern, isn't it? But it's not. You're just increasing knitting and then decreasing. It's so it makes it look like it's they're like slouchy socks, isn't it? They're lovely, and it was nice. They were nice to knit. I'd never knitted socks. Well, I've not knitted that many pairs of socks anyway, but I hadn't knitted from one of Helen's patterns. So this is the picnic blanket socks. I knit them with yarn by Sherry Iris, and it was the February Sock Club. Again, I haven't got the ball band. yeah, just I think it was the February Sock Club, which is Foxglove Wood is the sock club this year. And it's very, very pretty. It's coming out a lot darker on the camera. This is paler greens, and yeah. And I like this. I like doing this heel. I can cope with that. I'm getting better. It's getting neater, and I've no idea what you call this toe. It's where it's a graded toe, I think you call it. I don't know. You decrease from either side. So, and these are for my middle daughter. Yeah. So that's another finished object. I did knit another pair of socks. In fact, I showed them on my previous podcast. I think I'd knitted one and was halfway done the second sock, and I finished those, and my son's got them, and I forgot to take a picture. But then I'd shown them a couple of times on the podcast anyway, and they were plain vanilla socks, the Winnick Mum's pattern, and again the yarn was from Sherry Harris, a Life of Birds sock club. Very pretty yarn. So that's another finished object. Work in progress. You've seen this, and I probably foolishly said that when I podcast again, I would be wearing this. I shouldn't say these things. I just shouldn't. Setting myself up to fail. So it is the Margot cardigan. I don't know the pattern. I think this is a popular pattern. All her patterns are lovely. This is Along of Anna de Hoot, and it is the Margot. Nice detail there. I'm doing a cropped version, because I want to be able to wear it with my dresses. So I'm almost finished a sleeve. I always have a little bit of a problem under the arm on this. I don't quite know. Although I think that's part of the raglan, isn't it? Anyway, I can do a little bit of surgery there. So it's top down, knit a top down with that raglan as the increases. It's a sort of a signature look with Anna's patterns. It's lovely. Very easy to do. I think this is the second top down. I did the Rosa cardigan for my granddaughter, and you knit top down with this raglan detail. And it's not. I don't know why. I'm always saying, oh, I can't do that. I can. And it's an I-cord neckband, which I've never done before. But there's the pattern. It goes down. And then the rib, it's twisted rib at the bottom. It's really pretty. And the yarn I've showed before is Lena Marie, and it is the Aphrodite. The ball band. Here we go. That's the ball band, and it is baby alpaca silk and cashmere. It's very, very soft. It's very floppy, but it's really nice, really nice. So hopefully I'll finish that soon. I've kind of I need to work on it, and I look at it and think, there's only a couple of evenings and I'll probably finish this, so I need to get on with it. But that's but the wool is, it's very, very, it's fine. It's fingering, and it does, when you're knitting it on 3.25, it does take a while. You feel, you know, you've been knitting forever, and that's when a progress keeper comes in handy, because you can actually, you know, you think, oh, actually, I've done quite a bit, when it doesn't look as though you've done that much. But yeah, I love grey. This is just so lovely, and I haven't knitted on with alternate skeins, which you're supposed to do. I quite rather like the pooling. This, I think, let me see a little bit of it there, but it I just think it's the part of the cardigans, the wool's charm, really. That maybe if it was multicoloured or variegated, I think they call it, that might make a difference. But when it's plain, I don't think so. So that's that very long standing work in progress. Another work in progress is another pattern by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade, and it is the Sock Society, and these are the Lavender Field socks. And I am knitting them again in a Sherry Iris yarn, and I'm hoping these don't turn back when I think I've made that a bit thicker than it should have been, although I don't know. Looking at the pattern, I think it's okay. Anyway, it's folding back, but hopefully when it's blocked it won't. And that's the little pattern of sort of lavender flowers, and I'm knitting it in Sherry's yarn. It's a fairly newish yarn. It's Un Bouquet d'Amour, and it's coming out a little bit darker, but this is sort of lavender on a sort of a cream background with these little bits of yellow in there as well, which is a lovely combination. And this was inspired by her wedding bouquet, which must have looked absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, that's knitting them on my 9-inch circulars. I just can't. Although I was watching a podcast where they used the flyers. I think they're called higher flyers. I might look into that. But to be honest, I've got used to doing it this way now. I start off on. I use the DPNs, and these are 2.5 DPNs and circulars. I use the 2.5 DPNs just to knit a little way down, 2 or 3 rows down, and then I go on to the circulars. I don't think I mentioned there's a picot edging. Oh, so pretty. So that's the Lavender Field socks, and this is my new project bag. This is a project bag by Claire. I think her name is Claire. It is Woolen Nature, and she hand dyes the linen and then hand paints in front and then makes the bag, and oh, it's so lovely. And it's just lined in plain linen. It's a box bottom, and they come. Claire, I'm sure her name is Claire. Woolen Twine lives in the south of France. And you know, it took a week to get here. Very quick. No problems at all. It's lovely. So that's housing my Lavender Field socks. Lovely. Oh, that's the ball band. Gorgeous. Sherry is now doing pins in that, and I've ordered one. I've ordered a couple of skeins of yarn from Friday just gone and the Friday before's update, and I ordered and the soap is gorgeous. I got the spring celebration box, which I haven't done anything with the yarn yet, and in it was a bar of lemon soap. Oh, it's so lovely, and I've got it in our downstairs loo, and it's still going strong now. It's lovely. It's not lost its scent. It's not cracked. It's because that always put me off using bars of soap, but of course we've gone back to bars of soap now. I'm trying to be conscious of how much plastic we're using. So we've even trying this week for the first time a shampoo bar, Eco Warrior, I think it's called, from Waitrose, and it's great. It's fine. I'm just wondering what to do about conditioner. I just put a blob of it on the bottom, on the ends of my head, just so I can get the brush through. And I was wondering if there was such a thing, but I'll look into it. So that's another work in progress. Another work in progress is a shawl, and I am knitting the it is called the Silver Dollar Shawl by Joanna Herriot, and Joanna and I think her sister's name is Rachel are twin set and pearls, and this you can see it's lovely. I'm not going to do the tassels, so I think I'll leave those off, but it's such a lovely pattern, and I have literally only just started it, and my stitch marker from West Greenloft Yarns, that's just to indicate to me which is the right side, and this is the pattern. I don't know if you can, I've got the lights on today because the light outside is awful. It's a really grey, dismal day. Can you see? That's a bit better, isn't it? There. And it's a yarn by Bird Street yarn, and it is Constance Gray. They did an update a couple of months ago now and showed this, and I thought, oh, that's lovely. It's sort of like a lilac-y grey. I've only skeined, the shawl takes 2 skeins, I've only skeined at 1, so I can show it to you in the skein. It's absolutely lovely. And it is it's Dornan 4-ply, merino nylon. It is lovely, Constance Gray. The yarn that they use in the pattern is a Bird Street yarn, and it's the Hiddleston. It's the Hiddleston. I really did like that silvery colour. I thought that was gorgeous. I'm showing it to you. There we are. I thought that was it, but they haven't got any. But this is the next best thing, I thought. Really, really nice, and I'm pleased with the way it's knitting up to. Never used their yarn before, and it's lovely. Really lovely. So that's a work in progress. I have literally just started this, and it's knitting it them on 3.5 circulars, Knit Pro. These are the exchangeable. Is it? That's what you say, isn't it? Exchangeable. They're not fixed circulars. I can switch them around. Interchangeable. Interchangeable. Until I've not done this for a while. And that's in my homemade bag, which I've shown before on the podcast. I think it's Peony and Sage. I don't know whether I prefer a zipped project bag or a drawstring. I don't know. I seem to have more drawstrings than zipped, but. And another, now I have only literally just started this because I wanted to see how the yarn knitted up, and I'm going to knit, again it's another twin set and pearl pattern, and it's Queen Charlotte socks. So yes, you see I'm going to have a go at a proper pattern pair of socks, and I think this is part of the Bridgerton range that they brought out. Gorgeous. and I'm knitting them on another Sherry Iris yarn. It's a recent one, and this one is called, I think it's Meadow. Is it Meadow Walk or Meadowgrass? Meadowgrass, and that's the ball band. They're always so beautiful, the ball bands, gorgeous. And that's it's yeah, I suppose that's a good interpretation. It's creams and greens. There. Lovely meadowgrass, and I have just started it, and it's a twisted rib. You're supposed to use a German cast on, but I just did my normal cast on. I can't get my head around all that twisting that wool around your fingers and things. Please excuse my nails. I broke that one and it's gone right down. So I had to cut all the others down as well. I don't particularly like long nails, but these are a bit short. That's sore, that one. Didn't need to know that. And it's a twisted rib. But I think the idea of the German cast on is it's stretchy, but I think that'll be stretchy, you know. I think I'm going to have these socks because I've only knitted myself one pair of socks, and I've worn them and worn. I don't wear socks as such. I wear them in the house when my feet are cold, so because I don't like slippers. So and they've gone into a hole, and they're wearing. I've worn them. I must have knitted them about 4 years ago, and it's the only pair I've got, and I've worn them when we've gone walking and things like that. So these are going to be for me. Selfish knitting. Lovely, so lovely colours. So, oh, and it's in my Sherry Iris bag. I've had this one for a while. With the polka dot lining, signature tabs. Gorgeous, it's lovely. It's a lovely linen. And again, I'm knitting them on my circulars, but this time I think, it's 2.5 again. It's usually 2.25, but I'm going with what the pattern says because I always think they're the experts. They know. This isn't, I haven't started this, but I'll show you what I intend to do with it. I watch a podcast called Heather and Hops. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely podcast. She's amazing. And she sells yarn that the farm is about 15 miles away from where she lives. I hope I've got this right, but it's then sent up to Scotland to be spun, and it's a yarn. It's a mixture of gorgeous tags, gorgeous, and it is 50% Valais black nose and 50% Jacob. It's a DK, and it's 50 grams, so you only get 190 yards. And it's rustic. It's rustic, but I don't know if I could wear that next to my skin as a jumper. It's quite, but I'm going to knit a cardigan, and so that's, it'll be all right on arms. I think my arms are used to it. This is the sensitive bit, isn't it? Sometimes, yeah. So, and when you, I've not got it, but you get a little note from Kat, and I thought I'd put it in. No, I've kept it, but I thought I'd put it in the bag. Anyway, you get a little letter thanking you for buying the yarn, handwritten, and it's on that's her. I don't want to say logo. What do I mean? Anyway, yeah. So what I'm going to knit with this is, I think you pronounce that fennel, by Tetbeck, and it's knitwear. That's the name of the company, but it's Orlan Souche, and it's just a very, very plain cardigan. Again, I've only got 4 skeins, so I think I will crop it to about there. It's just a very plain V-neck cardigan, and I think I'll get loads of wear out of that. And I think it'll look interesting in the rustic yarn. there's a lot of podcasters using rustic yarn now, or undyed yarn. And I thought, when I saw this, I thought, oh, I'm having a go, and they showed a picture of the Valais black nose sheep Valais. Oh, they're so cute. They look like teddy bears. They're beautiful. I believe they originate from Switzerland, so they must be quite hardy sheep. But this is Hertfordshire, I think. My daughter lives in Hertfordshire, so. So I'm going to knit that. It sounds. I don't think there's any. It's worked from the top down, but it doesn't look as if there's any tricky increasing or anything. No, it's all just making one and down. No, it's a paid for pattern. But I think in the last podcast I showed you some wool I bought from Hedgerow Yarns, and I was going to make a cardigan, a perfectly plain cardigan from Ankerstrick, called I couldn't decide what it was called, but it was J.I. Was it J.U.? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was a perfectly plain cardigan, and it's had what they call a contagion shoulder, and it's where you use twisted, lifted increases to shape it. And it's just too complex. I'm not very good with the lifted increase. I think that's why I'm struggling with the Lola socks, because the Godet heel is formed with lifted increases. And this shaping is a twisted lifted increase, and I'm not sure I'm doing it right. I'm not sure what I'm doing really. So I've put that pattern to one side, and I'm going to look for something else to knit with that yarn. I get it'll be a cardigan. I think I might do a cardigan from Along the Becana. But in the meantime, I'm going to cast this on the funnel. And it's in another bag from Woolen Nature. I keep saying Woolen Twine, but that's a different company completely. She dyes yarn and has a lovely podcast. She hand dyes. She likes rustic yarn. Eula from Woolen Twine. This is woolen. You see, you get this on the. Now this one is it's gorgeous. This one too. The greys and it's a little. I think it's a tad bigger than that one, and you always get one of these in the bag. I don't know what I've done with the other. I think I've put it in a book as a bookmarker, and handwritten thanking me for my order. Yes, her name is Claire. Woolen Nature. Bonjour, Suzanne. Lovely. And that's, did I show you it in the skein? I've only balled one up. And you knit them on 4mm needles, so it should be a fairly quick knit, she says. I think I've shown you that one. Yes. So that's the knitting, and I can show you. I've bought some wool lately, and I can show you what with intentions, not just on impulse. I've stopped doing that. This one I bought a few from West Green Loft Yarns, Vicky from West Green Loft Yarns. So this one is Carousel, and I haven't brought the pattern with me, but I bought it from Leslie Tranter. I'm going to knit the Carousel socks, and I thought, well, on the pattern the socks are knitted in Carousel, so I'm copying. It's just very pretty. So I think these will be the Carousel socks. I also purchased a yarn, a skein of nougat. It says vintage jeans on there, but it's not. This is nougat and vintage jeans. And I'm going to, with that, I'm going to knit a pattern from the Shawl Society, Helen Stewart's Curious Handmade, and it is called the Silver River Shawl, and I'm going to knit it in these. So that's that one. And the other purchase I made was from Les Family Yarn, and it's this one, and it's Tiger's Eye. And it's gorgeous mustardy gold. It's just got different tones, darker, lighter. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's really nice. And I'm going to knit. It's a Curious Handmade show to you today. I'm going to knit the Wild Bees socks, and this is from the Sock Society, the same one that the Picnic Blanket socks came from, and this is knitted in Tiger's Eye. So when it came, I mean, it goes really quickly, and I missed it the first time around, and then the next time it came, I don't know, I was just looking just to see, and there was some Tiger's Eye, so I bought. In fact, I wish I'd bought more, but I just bought one skein, because I think this would make a gorgeous cardigan for the autumn. Where this, or maybe that trapeze dress that I showed a couple of podcasts ago, and that was a sort of a gold colour. No, what am I talking about? No, that was this colour. I'm thinking, yes, in my head I was thinking you could knit a blue cardigan. I don't. Ignore me. Don't know what I'm waffling on there for. No, but this would with a blue, this would look really nice in the autumn, I thought. So I'll have to look out and see if she has another update and with some more, because I think it's a very popular yarn. Nonsense, what you can tell. You really can tell I haven't done this for a while. Not that I was ever practiced or slick. Right, so that's the knitting content. I have a little bit of, I haven't done much sewing. The only thing I have sewn, well, no, that's not true. I made a dress and I don't like it, so I look at it, think that's not me. I bought some quilting cotton, and I know quilting cotton isn't very wide, but I bought enough to make a sleeveless Hattie or Ellis dress. I can never remember which one's which. But I don't know, it's a floor, it's got a little floral pattern on it. I kind of looked at it thinking, gosh, this is kind of Cabbages and Roses, which I absolutely adore that range. It's gorgeous. Everything about it is gorgeous. I've got the books and everything. And I thought, well, it would look a little bit like that, but I don't think it does. All I've got to do is hem it, but I don't know. So anyway, I'm not showing it, but I'll see. But I've made this for Ted, and it's the Ringer Tea. This is a free pattern from Brindle and Twig, and I've made the long sleeve version this time. I've made a few of these, but no, I've always made the long sleeve version. It's the short sleeve version I haven't made, and I'm thinking I might do, but this is for sort of later in the year, because I mean it's an age 2 to 3 and he's only 16 months old. But the problem we have, and I think it's with a lot of babies, is we've got to be able to get his head through. Got a big head as our Ted, but the other thing I wanted to do this was, it was my birthday earlier in the month, and my husband bought me an overlocker. So I've been practicing. I've always kind of steered away from wanting one, although I did think if someone was at my knitting group in the past, they've talked about the Aldi overlocker, and it's good, and it's about £120 or something. But anyway, my husband bought me the Janome 9200D. It's not an all singing, all dancing one. To be honest, I just want to be able to neaten the seams off, because the zigzag doesn't work. It's still, with linen, it still frays, and it looks a bit messy. No, I mean, it's on the inside, but it still looks a bit messy, and it sometimes frays to the stitching line in it. I think. So I've been having a bit of a practice, and I believe you've got to sew the ends in or they unravel, because I've made this entirely on the overlocker, which was an unusual experience. I kept thinking of the overlocker as a sewing machine, and it's not. It's you've got to separate the thought kind of thing, and it's turned out okay. The first one I did was a disaster, because you can unpick overlocking, but oh boy, it's a faff. And to unpick on this jersey material, well, I just put it into holes, so I gave up on that. Fortunately, I was just using some spare fabric. I'd already made him a top in it, so it wasn't a complete disaster. I wasn't, but I bought this material is from Elephant in My Handbag, an online shop. She has a website. It's lovely. It's really nice. She has some really nice children's fabrics. So that one. So I've sewn that, and I've got the ends to sew in, because I believe if I don't, they'll unravel. Don't want that to happen. What else to say about that? Oh, and I bought some other material to knit, to sew another top for Ted. Now I bought a metre of it, and it's quite wide, so I might do a couple of t-shirts, or try out, there's another free pattern, and it's like a little hooded jacket. I might have a go at that. But that's the quality of and it washes really nicely too, my daughter said. So yeah, so those are for Ted. I need to sort some more patterns out. I'm getting a bit fed up of doing that one, although I can do it now without even looking at the instructions. I just get takes, and if nothing goes wrong, it's an hour. It's done in an hour, and that's including the cutting out. I tend to like to cut out one day and sew the next day, not do it all on the same day. But and it's a PDF, so you've got to stick it together. But there's only 10 pages to stick together, so it doesn't take long. I use Pritt Stick and kitchen floor. So that's sewing for Ted. Let's move the wool. Other sewing projects, I bought some Liberty fabric, and I want to make a little blouse. And I don't wear blouses, but I've got a couple of pinafore dresses, and I think this would look rather nice underneath it. Now this is a PDF pattern. It's a paid for pattern, and it's by I think it's called yeah. There, I think I sew. I think so.com, and it's really nice. And I thought, again, I'm not sure I would make it that long, because I don't wear jeans, so I would perhaps put, because I haven't got loads of material, so I'm hoping I can, jiggle it around. And this is a Liberty fabric called Elizabeth, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You see, that's the kind of fabric, or the design that some of Cabbages and Roses dresses are in. This very small floral print, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I look at them, and they are expensive, but they're made in this country, and the fabric is made in this country, I believe. And they're not, they don't make tons of them, so you're getting something quite unique. But they're very expensive. But I would save up and buy them, because you would be a treasured piece. but I think I'm not tall enough. I'm only 5'3" and a bit round, and I just think it would wear me rather than I wore it, really. But you know, they say, you know, I mean, it was my birthday, the beginning of the month, and I was 64. So, and they say, you know, you can. I mean, really, I shouldn't have hair this long if I read what people say or take notice. So maybe I don't know. I maybe brave it and make a dress. You know, sort of make an Ellis or Hattie dress, or the hinterland. The only thing that puts me off with the hinterland is the button plaque at the front, because I don't know if I could do it neat enough. And you can do it. It comes in varying styles, but I mean, I think I probably plumped for the one that was playing, which is not unlike the Alice and Hattie. I'd want to make something a bit different. Anyway, but it's just so lovely, and that's what I intend to make from it. So we'll see. That's that one. And then I ordered some fabric from Merchant and Mills. So I got this, which is a linen with I can't remember the name of it now. I can't remember. There's one. There's a few. There's papier, and then there's a blue, and this is a black. And I've made an Alice and Hattie or Hattie dress in the papier, and the other one as well. I made two, but I decided not to gather it. I pleated it, and I think the gathers look better actually. Anyway, and I'm going to make the camber. I have made this before. I made it in a grey linen, which I just wore till it fell to pieces. It was silk grey from Merchant and Mills. It was lovely, and I loved it. I used to wear it with a grey cashmere cardigan. I loved it, but it just fell to pieces. I wore it. That's the trouble with linen; it does wear, and linen seems to wear here with me, whereas I can patch it up to a point, and then I can't patch it up anymore. So that's the camber. So I'm going to make that one, and I also bought this one. Is called Petrova, and it's coming out paler. It's it's coming out a lot paler. It's a very powdery. No, it's not powdery. Chalky. A chalky pink. Lovely. So that's going to be a camber as well. So that's my sewing plans. I won't get them done this weekend, I don't think. But I could cut them out certainly, and do a bit of prep. Well, that's it. That's all my knitting and sewing. Well, I've managed to ramble on for 43 minutes. It was nice on Saturday. I talked about my knitting group. It's Tuesday night in the wool shop, in a town nearby, and we haven't done it. They've been doing Zoom knitting groups, but at the beginning of lockdown, my family used to all get together on Zoom and do quizzes and things like that, and that was a Tuesday night, so I couldn't partake in the knitting group, which was a shame. But we have a little WhatsApp group, and the lady who organises it, the manager of the shop, she put out, well, how about we knit outside the shop on Saturday, which is 26th, and weather permitting kind of thing, and we'll sit outside the shop and knit. Just bring your knitting and we'll have a chat. And I haven't seen him for 18 months, more than 18 months, and it's not 18 months, is it? Year gone March, and it seems a long time anyway. And I went, and it was lovely. And I was only going to go for a couple of hours. I thought I'd just go for a couple of hours, because you never know who's going to turn up. It might have just been me, but it wasn't. We all made the effort to come. So not everybody. A couple of moved away, things like that, or other commitments. But it was just so lovely, and I stayed there till closing time. I was there all day. I got there at 11, and when we said we'd meet up, and it was it was 4:30, 4:45 by the time I was going back to my car. The shop shuts at 5 anyway. But it was absolute, and I realised just how much I missed it. it was really nice just chatting and knitting and being with like-minded, you know, it was just absolutely lovely. And we think we might do it again towards the end of next month. And then hopefully in September, we might be able to meet back inside the shop on a Tuesday night, which is lovely. Yeah. So, but apart from that, I've not done much else. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll see you soon.